Emily Billows, Country Report, 2010. My country is Venezuela. I'll start off with my famous person. Irene Khan was born December 16th, 1961 in Caracas, Venezuela. When Irene was 19, she won Miss Venezuela. Then a year later, she won Miss Universal 1981. After her role in pageants, she moved on to a more political career. Irene graduated from Universidad Central de Venezuela with a degree in political science. From 1992 to 1998, she was the mayor of Multiplicity of Caro in Caracas. Then in 1998, she ran for president but was unsuccessful. In 1999 to 2000, she served as governor of state of Nueva Esparta. Irene improved education, healthcare, security, and sanitation. I believe that going from beauty pageants in a 10-year span going into politics is a very big achievement. She says to the working woman that I can be pretty and still be in charge. She also is coming from a very sexist country. Food. Venezuela's dishes are just as unique as America's. It has the ethnic heritage of the Caribbean and the Spanish with the blend of exotic local produce. Arpa is a piece of cooked dough made out of corn flour. Arpas are eaten fresh, plain, or may even be stuffed. You can stuff arpas with salad, cheese, meats like beef, chicken, and sausage. Most of Venezuela's dishes are made with its local produce like bananas, coffee, corn, rice, sorghum, and sugarcane. Many foods in Venezuela are made with local resources. Alternative life. If I could live anywhere in Venezuela, it would have to be on the Caribbean coast or at the top of the Andes. Living at the top of the Andes would be very cold and winter all year long, unlike the weather in Montana. Living on the Caribbean coast would be a tropical, warm climate all year round. Living at the top of the Andes, I wouldn't find many schools, so I'd either not go to school or be homeschooled. On the Caribbean coast, I would go to Venezuelan school. They are a third world country, so I'd have to pay to go to school. I would most likely travel to a ski resort or go skiing all year long if I lived on the Andes. If I lived on the Caribbean coast, I would go swimming or visit Caribbean islands. My future in both places would be to get married, have kids, work on my farm or my ranch. If I was lucky and I lived with a rich family, I might even get to go to college or pick the man I married. My home in both places would be very poor, and it would look like a shack. My husband and his parents would live in the same house. My future would be working and having kids. Venezuela is under the Constitution of 1999. The president is Hugo Rafael Chavez Frazas and is elected for a 6-year term and may be elected for a second term. Venezuela consists of 23 states, a federal district, of which Caracas is a part of, a federal dependency, which includes 11 states. The vice president is Jose Vencel Raguel. They have 3 branches: legislative, executive, and judicial. I think the government is very similar to the government we have in America. There are differences between our country and their government, but one thing is our presidents are only elected for a 3-year term, and theirs has a 6-year term. The first inhabitants of Venezuela were the descendants of prehistoric people that moved from Asia over the Bering Strait right after the Ice Age. These include the Arawaks, the Caribs, and the Chorbaches. It wasn't until 1498 they were found by the Spanish. The Spanish left the Venezuelans alone. It wasn't until the early Europeans discovered Venezuela that it was then colonized. The Indians suffered many new diseases that were carried from Europe, such as malaria and smallpox. History continued. Because of the large number of Venezuelan Indians dying, the Spanish brought thousands of Africans into Venezuela to make up for the huge number of deaths. Then, on July 5th, 1811, Venezuela declared independence from the Spanish. They built their government up until the two parties of the government enraged in a bloody civil war that lasted from 1859 to 1863. After the Civil War, a new type of government called a democracy was declared. Travel. The thing that is cool about Venezuela is that it has a very diverse landscape, ranging from mountains to islands. Margarita Island is an island located on the Caribbean Sea. Tona Carva is a place that was forgotten in time. It was a French settlement and then was forgotten until 1963, when then it was restored. Coro is the old capital of Venezuela. It is one of the most historical places in Venezuela. The artifacts in the town are some of the best in Venezuela. Some of the landmarks in Venezuela include waterfalls, mountains, lakes, and the Guaya highlands. The largest waterfall in the world is located in Venezuela. It is called Angel Falls, off of the movie Up. This waterfall is 1,128 meters tall. The Guayan highlands is a place like the Everglade. This place was described in the book King Kong. The Andes region contains the Corral de Marda, which extends north and east from the Andes Mountains in Colombia. Corral Pelé National Park is on the eastern side of the Margarita Island. It was declared a national park in 1874. There are a few plants that are rare in the rest of the world that live in this state park. There is no shortage of parks in Venezuela. I googled at least 50. Venezuela has many cool places, landscapes, and features. Culture. The native people population has decreased because of Spanish having control for so long. Venezuela has a huge population of Africans because of Spanish. The public health care has changed because of the changing to democracy. Climate. For the most part, Venezuela is a hot 82 degrees Fahrenheit. This climate is known as tropical. The temperature at 6,562 feet is about 75 degrees Fahrenheit. At 9,843 feet, around 46 degrees Fahrenheit, and tends to be covered in snow. The agriculture of Venezuela affects things they grow. Unlike Venezuela, the city of Eureka has all 4 seasons. Venezuela has 2 seasons, rainy and summer. Comparison. One major thing to compare is the governments, and the fact that we both gained our independence. They gained theirs in 1829 from the Spanish, and we gained ours from the British in 1776. Another thing that really sticks out is the indigenous people of Venezuela are being pushed out of their homes just like our Native Americans. The early Spanish people colonized Venezuela. The early Europeans colonized America, although it was in the same century. Another interesting fact about Venezuela is that unlike all the other South American countries, which favorite sport is soccer, Venezuela's favorite sport is baseball, and so is America's. Unlike America, where hunting is limited, in Venezuela, hunting is prohibited. Venezuela houses some of the only freshwater dolphins in the world.